So I got all the panels sanded, ready to go. So the next step is to put them together. So let's put them together. Heads are really small. Okay, so as you can see, we have the three cabinets, sides, and the bottom put together. Next step is to put the back piece on. It's just a small strip. It just goes into the back where you screw it to the wall. That just gives the cabinet, does a couple things. So I'm gonna set up my saw. I'll measure both of these pieces here. These pieces are a little over 5 inches. So I set my saw up about 4 7/8. And I do like to tighten it down. Just makes the fence a little bit straighter when I'm cutting, because it's important that your face frame stays straight. All right, so I'm gonna turn on the dust collector and get a little loud, so I'm gonna pause the video for a second. Distance from here to the bottom of here, and then extend it past an inch, which will line my bottom rail right here. There's a lot of wear on it. So the guy who taught me how to make cabinets, he always wanted the bottom plate to be lined up with the bottom of the face frame. And so it's just something to keep in mind. Now, these are going to be drawers in here. It's 28 and a quarter. 28 and a quarter. So if that's 28 and a quarter, then you want to be 29 and a quarter. So my vertical pieces here on my face frame are going to be 29 and a quarter, which is going to about line me up to this bottom here. You can add 1/8 of an inch to it if you want to, just to make sure, because that 1/8 right here is not really going to make that big of a difference. But I'm going to cut them at 29. So you want to make sure you cover it up. You don't want to see any lip on the plywood. You only want to see a little bit of the lip on the face frame, because that is your durable piece, and that is what keeps your longevity of. All right, so the next step is to put my pocket holes for my face frame. I have the Craig system. I've been using this system for and I use the Craig drill bit, believe it or not. And then you put the stop based on the size of your screw. We're going to be using 1.5 inch screws, so I already have this set up. And basically, it's as easy. Just set it in there, clamp it down really tight, just to make sure it doesn't move. And as you can see, that's how easy the pocket holes are. All right, and then all you got to do really is just keep track of the side that you're doing it on, and keep it flat against your jig. Because I do sand these before. I do hate doing these before I actually glue it all up together. I just find it easier to sand it before I put it together. That's a preference thing, but there you have it. So these are my horizontal rails. This is going in the smaller cabinet. I have two larger. And I just wanted to show you real quick that I got a blemish on this piece, which it's paint. It's not that big of a deal. I just need to kind of coordinate where I want it to go. So as I'm laying this out, I'm going to, if this is the top of it, this is the top of the face frame, then I'm going to put this where it's going to be against the countertop, so you won't see it. And it's so simple at this point because I do use glue just a tab in between here and here. Now, like I said earlier, don't get it carried away with your glue, because the last thing you want to do is, especially if you're working with stained gray material, you don't want to get any glue on your material that you're not going to be able to sand off. And in these corners, it's really prone to getting that. So basically, put some glue in between there. I use these vice grips. These actually came with the Craig glue. These are about 15 years old. And just clamp it on there. I make sure that it's flush right here. I want it as straight and flush as possible. And because I cut this on the table saw and I know my edges are straight, that I know that it's square. Now, all right, so I'm going to attach the plywood or the face frame to the cabinet now. So the first thing I do is I put a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, because remember I said I accounted for it when I cut my face frame out, and I only attach one side. I do use glue. I do use glue on this part of it. I don't use a lot, but I do use some. I just kind of run it right down where the face frame's going to be. Now remember, I'm not a big fan of using glue because it can mess your finish up. And I've been preaching from the very beginning. You can be the best woodworker in the world. Can't finish. It's not worth a whole lot. So. Alright. Some glue in here. Then take my face frame. Here I already have it where it'll line up kind of nicely. And I'm only going to tack one side of it right now. Make sure that it's flush to the top. And I'm going to use a nail gun initially, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Now I'm only doing one side, remember, not the... And then I'll finish it off with trim head screws. Let me get ready. Nice. Things that we need to check is square. And square is pretty easy. Pull from one corner to the other corner. This is again. And this is 31 3/8. So 31 3/8 and 31 3/8. That's pretty freaking square. Anyways, enjoy guys. Hope you enjoyed